second now he'd be home. Any second. "Dude, hit lights?" Keys jangled in the door. I rubbed my eyes, leaving big black smudges on my fists. Keys? Burglars. Burglars with keys? I noticed the champagne bobbing around in a bucket full of water. What time was it? And why was I semi-naked? "Where'd you want this?" The voice again, this time definitely inside the front door. With very little time to make a decision, I decided to stay on the couch and hide. I really wasn't dressed for vigilantism. Batman hardly ever wore heels, after all. Just drop it anywhere. Angela?" Angela. That was me. And that voice belonged to Alex. It wasn't burglars, it was... Whoa, dude! The living room lights flickered into life, revealing me, on the couch, in all my sultry glory. If looking like a very confused cut-price hooker with messed-up eye makeup and a little bit of drool on her pillow was in fact sultry. Judging by the expressions on Alex, Graham and Craig's faces, it wasn't. Of course he'd come home with his bandmates, and a four-way with my boyfriend, his gay drummer and super slutty guitarist, who I was almost certain must have at least one STD at any given time, really wasn't in my plans for the evening. "Oh, Angela!" Graham, gay as the wind, turned away immediately. Craig, straight as a die, grinned from ear to ear. "Nice rack." "Craig?" I couldn't even look at the giggling guitarist. "If you want to keep your balls, just stop bloody laughing." I pushed myself up, performing a very clumsy fan dance using the sofa cushions before tripping over my own shoes and landing in a graceless pile at the foot of the Christmas tree. "Alex!" I called, face in the floor. "Angela?" he replied. I could tell he was trying not to laugh. "Twat. Could you turn the lights out, please?" "Absolutely." The living room lights dimmed, and somewhere inside my shame, I heard him herding the others out of the apartment, much to Craig's dismay. A healthy combination of humiliation and the throbbing pain in my knee kept me face down on the hardwood floor while I waited for the click of the lock. At least my Christmas tree smelled nice. That was something. "Hey." I opened my eyes to see a pair of knackered Converse by my side, followed by a pair of bright green eyes covered by a floppy black fringe that was considerably longer than the last time I'd seen it. "Hi." "Nice outfit." "Thanks." "The flight was delayed," he explained. "I thought you'd be asleep." "Well, I was." Lying side by side on the cold floor wasn't quite how I'd envisaged this welcome working out. Well, sometimes it was, but mostly I'd hoped we'd make it to the bedroom, or at least stick to the sofa. Alex reached out a hand and wiped away some of my smudged mascara. "I missed you," he said. "I missed you too. I really was going to need to ice my knee. Probably should have stuck with the beer and pizza welcome back, shouldn't I?" Alex hopped up and reached down to grab my hand. Wobbling to my feet, I let him wrap my arms around his neck before draping his own around my waist, hands resting on my hips. Staring up at him, I couldn't quite catch my breath. Even after dating him for more than a year, even after living with him for the last few months, it never failed to delight me just how bloody hot Alex Reed actually was. His hair was messy, his bright eyes a little bloodshot from his long flight, but he was still so beautiful. High cheekbones, full lips, pale skin. I wanted to lick him. Sometimes in public, but I didn't. Mostly. And he was mine. He leaned forward and rested those lips gently against mine, and I felt a shiver all over my body that had nothing to do with standing around in my pants. Well, maybe it was tangentially related, but it didn't have anything to do with being cold. "Now, you know I love pizza," he whispered into my ear, "but it can wait until tomorrow. I really, really missed you." Wrapping me up in another kiss, we staggered towards the bedroom door, Alex shedding clothing as we went, me trying not to let my knee give out. So the evening hadn't gone quite according to plan, but as long as I was getting the result I was after, who was I to complain? A few hours later, I was rudely awoken by a throbbing pain in my left kneecap. I bent my legs slowly, wincing through the pain but too tired to get up and take painkillers. When I wasn't in agony, this was my favourite way to be. Not quite awake, not quite asleep. Watching